like to welcome everybody out to our first Blab of hopefully many, many, many.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. Just a little thing about this Blab. I've gotten into it this last couple of weeks, and it's an awesome, awesome platform. It's so much fun to go into a room like we have here, and you just sit down if you want, or just simply observe and watch the interface, the interaction, and be one-on-one and be able to ask questions and get to know the people in the room. It's like we're sitting in all the same living room together. It's a absolutely amazing technology that I'm just having a lot of fun with. I was somewhat addicted, I guess you'd say, to Facebook. This is so much better. It's so much better than Facebook. So absolutely love it. So a little bit about myself. My name's Mike Warren. I'm the president of Alternative Health Concepts. We are just what that says. We're a company that promotes alternative health. We look and we research techniques, protocols, most recent updates in nutrition and health, and ways to better your health. And our primary way of doing that is through a supplement that we have that's called BioPro Plus. We'll get into that later, but it's an immune boosting supplement. It's an amazing supplement, and we'll let our guest today speak a little more to that issue. And with that, I'm going to introduce him on my screen, and I'm assuming it's on everybody's. We're all kind of new to this. He's right directly underneath me, and that's my dad, Dr. Herbert Warren. He and I co-founded this company, and he's the CEO, and I'm the president. And it's been awesome having him as a partner. It's been awesome having him as a dad, and I can truly say the last few years becoming good friends. It's been a really, really fun journey that we're on. And what makes it so fun to me is that we've been able to help hundreds of people get better, get well, get healthy, and regain a great sense of life, if you will. They've been able to get their quality of life back up. People that have had cancer, people that have had HIV, people that have had Hashimoto's disease, on and on and on. My own case with really chronic asthma and being able to get over that completely and not be on any medications. And a lot of that is through alternative methods and ways that we've found that help people. So I'd like to introduce him just to take a minute and say hi to everybody. Go ahead, Dad.
Hi, everybody. This is my first adventure in this Blab thing, and it's kind of exciting. Michael has done a great job putting all this together along with Wayne, and I appreciate Wayne and Bob and all that have helped to get us to this point so far. Yeah, we're in the business of trying to make people healthy. That's the name of the game. And my main philosophy is when you build anything, you have to have a great foundation. You build a house, you build a skyscraper. If that foundation is not proper, you don't have a very good structure. And
We'll get him back. He'll come back.
He comes back in. Let me introduce one of our partners that we've been so fortunate to link up with, and that's Wayne Dorban. He's to my, I don't know on the screen if it's backwards or forwards. As I'm looking at it, you're to my right, Wayne. So I'm not sure how everybody else sees it. Any rate, Wayne Dorban has a company called Implator that is an amazing company that does some amazing things in the digital marketing world. And that's where we've chosen to market our products and our content to help people. And Wayne and I were fortunate enough to meet at a conference for that this past February. And the rest is history. We just got along and we hit it off right away at this conference. And Wayne just has taken the lead on this, and we've gotten together, and he's just created our great website, made all this kind of thing happen that we're on right today. And we're just so thankful to him for what he's doing. And before I go on, right under me now is Bob Christador, and he's Wayne's partner, and we've become good friends with him there also. And so, Wayne, I'll let you. Who knows what happened to Pops there?
He's actually back.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, and that's what happens with this live.
And media. I don't know where I went.
And by the way,
computer just said reload, and I don't know what happened.
Oh well.
All right. Well,
you've reloaded. You're back. You've reloaded, and you're back in.
So today hold on, Dad. Just for today, we're going to have Wayne kind of lead us in a conversation. He's gonna be our interviewer, if you will, and interview my dad. I know too much about my dad to interview him. It might not be a good interview. So.
I think
I say that facetiously.
I think you'd do great. Here's one of the things, as Mike was saying earlier about this platform that we're on here, this Blab, is if you've got a good internet connection and you're on here right now. I see Hamza just jumped on. Hey man, good to see you. Hamza's from Pakistan, by the way, for everybody.
Hi Hamza.
And he's on our team, so he's jumped in. Anyway, if you have a good connection, I've actually been on 2 or 3 of these Blab types of activities where people are jamming, literally playing music in 4 different places in the world, and those listening are hearing it in concert type sound. And wow. If there's that good of an internet connectivity, that you don't have a lot of delay between the upload and the download. And I think if you're seeing our lips move at the same time you're hearing, it means there is a good connectivity. And right now I'm seeing my own lips move, which I think means that that's the case. That's really cool. So Mike, it is right. You feel like you're all in the room together. Yeah?
You're blabbing.
So I'm blabbing, yeah. So Dr. Warren, and I'm going to be formal here, and I might say by your first name at times, but you were just in the middle of just beginning to tell us about AHC and what AHC does. So why don't you continue on that, and you can start all over even. Dr. Warren, why don't you continue with just give us a background a little bit that you were talking about.
Oh, great. I think NSA cut me off. They didn't like what I was saying.
It could be.
I was talking about my philosophy as a practitioner is to have a good foundation. And just like you're building a house, you have to have a foundation. And the body's foundation for good health is the immune system. The immune system is the main control panel for the whole body. And if the immune system's out of whack, you're not going to have good health. Now, there are chronic diseases that crop up, especially after age 40. It seems like our bodies get a little weathered and they start deteriorating. And that's the way, I guess, if they didn't do that, we could live to be 120 or 150. But thymic proteins are the seat of our immune system. They're the master control of our immune system. These proteins that we've been able to identify and put in our supplement actually control the cell-mediated side of the immune system. The immune system is in 2 different divisions. You have the humoral system, which is the beta lymphocytes, and the cellular system, which is the CD4 and CD8 and killer cells. And if I get too technical, just let me know, Wayne, because that's where my brain.
No, you're doing great. I think this is important. So keep going.
All lymphocytes originate in bone marrow, and those that are bathed in these proteins are differentiated into CD4 cells or CD8 cells. And the CD4 cell is the general policeman of the body. It has the ability to identify foreign invaders, whether it be a virus, bacteria, cancer, protozoa, fungus, or whatever. And as they come across these invaders, the different receptors and sites that they use to identify are then the cell is then able to secrete cytokines. We call them cytokines. They're interleukins and interferons that go to the CD8 cell to tell the policeman, the CD8 cell, hey, this is what the critter looks like. Go find him and take him out. So basically, that's in a nutshell how it works. The natural killer cells are also under the direct influence of the CD4s and the cytokines they produce. Now, there are a lot of immune supplements on the market that increase lymphocytes, and that's one way we measure the immune system is the number of lymphocytes and number of white blood cells, macrophages, neutrophils, so on and so forth. However, because, and one of these is, I'll name a couple of them, 1,3-beta-glucans and echinacea, and there's a whole raft of others, maitake mushrooms, that increase the immune system through increasing these different cells. Now, the problem is that these cells are, active cells, except they don't have the correct software to really take out the the invaders as they properly should. That is where our product comes in. The CD4s and the CD8s are given that increased CD4s and CD8s from these various supplements are given the software, so to speak, by our protein to make them active instead of naive, and they can actually then do their job of identifying and taking these invaders out of our system. And Wayne's put up a great chart on how this all works, and it's really a pretty simple, straightforward thing. The question is why do we need this protein? Well, the thymus gland for years was thought to be an inactive gland. They didn't really know what it was all about. They thought it was a bleb of fat under the sternum. However, recently it's been determined that these thymic proteins are the most important part of our immune system. They reach maximum production at around 16, 17 through the teenage years. And then they start decreasing, the thymus gland starts decreasing until about age 40 when it's then again a blob of fat. So our body is producing very little, if any, natural protein to bathe these cells to make them active. That's why people get chronic degenerative diseases and also get cancer. We do make cancer cells every day of our life, but through the immune system, if it takes a holiday, then a cancer tumor can set up shop and go from there. So that's basically the essence of our product. It's a straightforward product. There's no mystery to it. It's a simple product that was given to our bodies naturally. There are no drug interactions or known side effects from it. It can be used virtually with any disease, as we've been able to do in the past. We've been doing this since 1995, and had some miracles along the way. So basically, that's where we're at, Michael. And you want to go from there, ask some questions, or?
Well, the only thing I was going to add about that real quickly was that, along those lines where you said there's no drug interactions, there are no drug interactions because it is self. It is part of what our body produces naturally. It isn't a foreign substance to our body. So when we take the supplement in, our body recognizes it as self, and it does not recognize it as a foreign substance such as a drug or a synthetic drug, or even a foreign supplement that you might take that's a vitamin or something that your body doesn't produce naturally. It doesn't recognize it like that because it is the same bioidentical protein that our bodies produce naturally. And
and along that line, just to add to that, Michael, is that it's an identical protein. All mammals produce the identical protein. So there's no chance of any protein reaction from one species to another. It's all identical. It's been conserved among species, and this is clinical facts. So
Yes.
it's the other thing is how I got involved in this. It might be interesting how I did get involved in this. I met Rick Beardsley, a good friend of mine, and I asked him one day what he was doing, and he said, well, I'm developing this immune system enhancer. And I queried him a little more and found out exactly what it did. I said, well, that's exactly what we need, because I'm a veterinarian with the racetrack, and there's no products that do what this product does to enhance the cellular system. We have several allogeneic immune supplements that stimulate the humoral or beta lymphocytes, but nothing to stimulate the cellular side. And so I was very interested. I've had a theory a long time that bleeding in racehorses is because of a low-grade infection in the lungs due to the must and the pollens and dust out of the straw and sitting in a stall 23 out of 24. They're supposed to be out in the pasture all day. So this was my basic interest in this product. I thought maybe we could help to increase their health and thereby enhance the lung tissue to the point where it wouldn't break down during the race. Virtually 70–80% of the horses bleed to some extent. And I essentially kind of proved that on an anecdotal basis. We haven't done any double-blind studies yet, but I've been able to, horses that have been referred to me by the veterinarians that they have not been able to stop bleeding. With all the drugs that we have at our disposal, just by adding BioPro Plus to their regimen, we've been able to stop 80% of those horses from bleeding. Now, to a point, maybe not to zero, but to a point where they can compete and race adequately. If a horse bleeds 4 and 5 out of 5, they'll stop running. And the last eighth of a mile, last 40 yards, you can almost tell when a horse starts bleeding, because they'll just pull themselves up to scoop their nose in the air and they'll just stop running. So we've had some great success, and we've also used it to great success in horses that are just tired. There's nothing wrong with the horse. There's no pathology, but they're just tired and need to be regenerated. And because their health has been overdrawn, it's like a bank account. If your health gets overdrawn, you don't feel as good as you should, and you're not going to compete at that high level. And we've been able to regenerate horses. And one of the main horses that come to mind is Golden Sense. He competed in the Triple Crown several years back. After the Preakness, he was dead tired. He came back to the barn in California, and his nose was on the ground. He was not one. He wasn't happy. He didn't like life at all. And we put him. I talked to Doug O'Neill. We got him started on the BioPro, and he thrived on it. After 3 weeks, he was back in the bit, and he was doing very well. And the rest is history. He went on to win a Breeders' Cup Mile, and he's now a stallion, and hopefully he'll be a successful stallion. So
there he is.
Well, there he is. Great. Fantastic. Thank you, Wayne. That brings back a lot of memories. He was quite a racehorse and one of our favorites. So, and we have success stories every day.
Here's another one. Tell us about this racing number and look here, and I'll try to get the picture of the horse. This will bring back another memory. Where is he here?
It's a little hard to see too, Wayne. You might have to help us who you're showing.
Yeah. Well, it's the horse BioPro Plus.
BioPro.
I'll find him here in a second.
There's a horse called BioPro, and one of my clients, Howard Zucker, had a one of his owners' wife had terminal cancer, and we started her on the BioPro Plus, and she had 3 wonderful years of good quality life before she passed. But during that time, before she passed, Bill asked me if he could name the horse BioPro, and I said, sure, I'd love it. That'd be great. So he did. Well, the horse turned out to be a stake winner. Howard sold him to an outfit back in New York, and Bill Mott's training him. He's one of the premier trainers in America. And he won a stake a few races back in New York. So we're very proud of BioPro. He's quite a horse in it.
There he is right there.
Yeah, exactly. And we had him on when Howard had him. We had him on BioPro just to keep him healthy, and it's a great product to increase the health of these animals, because we put them under a lot of stress, and stress destroys the immune system, and that's the basis of why I think we're having the success we're having. That gives you a little insight of where and how I got started with this product, and what we've been doing over the last 15 years or better.
Here's an interesting one. Here's a racing card with him on it, and because he's racing right now.
He's still racing.
Yeah,
he's still racing. Mm-hmm.
Well, when you and I've used that story a little bit of him and what the status was with the owner's wife, and how she was diagnosed with terminal cancer and was able to live another 3 years of a quality life. What kind of got you to see that this could be useful for humans, not just horses? Because you were focused so much on horses. So.
Well, when I first met Rick, I had a good friend of mine whose wife was diagnosed with terminal cancer. She had uterine cancer. It was throughout her whole abdomen, and her lungs were full of cancer. They gave her 90 days to live. And I had them start on the BioPro. We were giving her 4 packets a day. And about a year and a half later, and she went through chemotherapy, by the way. She went through a full course of chemo, never got sick. Her blood count stayed up. She thrived with the chemo, and in that instance was able to kill the cancer very well. But a year and a half later, I was developing x-rays down at the hospital, and the x-ray tech knew that I knew Yvonne, and said, come here, I want to show you something. And she showed me the x-rays of her lungs, and they were clearing up, and the doctors were just amazed that these lungs were clearing up, because this lady should have been dead. And then another year and a half or 2 years, I can't remember exactly, but she developed inguinal hernias. And of course, nobody wanted to do surgery on her, because they were scared that it'd start this whole sequence of events again. But the oncologist was completely baffled, and he said, I'll do the surgery, no problem. So he did the surgery on her, reduced the hernias, scoped her abdomen, and couldn't find any cancer at all. So from there, she lived another 10 years, well, 10 years altogether, another 6 years, I guess, 6 or 7 years. She essentially died cancer-free, but the chemo, all the chemo and drugs she was taking destroyed her kidneys, and her kidneys ended up failing. That's what caused her death. So, but she had 10 years of wonderful life, and that is, to me, we didn't cure anything maybe, but we sure did provide a life that she would not have had it not been for BioPro. That's my belief.
And again, you said it as you were talking with a little more technical detail about the helper cells, the 8s and the 4s, but maybe take it down to a little bit more of a lay person, somebody who might be suffering from something, whether it's cancer or other diseases. What is it that just basically that it's doing for their systems, and just how are they seeing it symptomatically? And you just described one.
Well, the biggest thing that comes to my mind is women have a preponderance of chronic fatigue syndrome. Chronic fatigue is a product of a Epstein-Barr virus. Probably in their teen years, they had mononucleosis. And the remaining Epstein-Barr is a herpes virus type virus, and it stays in the system. You got to keep it in the closet. When they get older, they get this chronic fatigue. I mean, I've had ladies come that have been sleeping 2/3 of the day, 20 hours a day, couldn't get out of the bed to go to work. And we put them on the BioPro, and because this CD4 cell, this specified lymphocyte, is able to identify that virus, it can then send out the right cell to kill it and put it, so to speak, back in the closet and keep it under control. The herpes viruses are that way. I don't think we ever get rid of them. We just try to keep them in the closet, and that's where we're really successful. So, to make a long story short, I gave this lady a couple boxes, told her what to do. She went home and took 2 packets. The very first night, she took 2 packets, and I should have told her to take them in the morning, because it ended up giving her so much energy. She was up cleaning the house all night, and finally got her sleep cycle back in order. But she still, this goes back in 1998. And she still comes by and picks up a box, keeps on it just on a routine basis, on a monthly basis, just to keep herself healthy and keep that energy level up. That is one thing it will do. Once you get the immune system proper, your energy levels will increase dramatically, and because your cells and everything's working properly. So I don't know if that answers your question the way you want it. If not, we can elaborate even more.
We'll talk some more.
Yeah.
I see we have a guest on here, Cynthia. I said hello on a chat, but just wanted to say hi to you. So we're talking today about alternative health, and this is a Blab that we're going to start doing on a weekly basis. And Bob, one of our co-hosts, put a message up here a little earlier. Next week, one of the people that Dr. Warren mentioned, Rick Beardsley, who is really it's not proper to say inventor when you have a product that is a natural substance, but the developer is going to be our guest. And so we're excited about that. And our goal is literally every week that we're going to have someone on that will be an expert in alternative health. For the first several weeks, we're going to try to keep concentrating on the immune system, because that's specifically what we're dealing with from a product perspective. But I'll ask right now, anybody who's got suggestions of topics that you'd like to hear about in one of these Blabs in the future, or even speakers names would be greatly appreciated. That's the whole idea here, is to make this an interactive sort of forum. Dr. Warren, a question that we get all the time, Mike did a great job of answering this last week, but maybe you could just even give your view on it now, is if I were to start taking this for whatever reason, whether it's a symptoms that I have that I'd hope to have it deal with, or maybe it's just because I know that I'm over 40 and that I ought to have some improvement in my immune system overall. What's the possible negative? I mean, is there, a lot of people who are already suffering something, their biggest fear is, if I start taking something and it makes it worse, that's even a much worse situation. So I know that we've addressed this. Mike did a great job last week, but I'd like to hear your perspective of whether there's some other negative that could happen by taking the BioPro product.
Wayne, there's no negatives that I know of right now. And it's because this protein is a natural part of our immune system. I mean, it is the main force in our immune system, and it is a bioidentical product. It's as if our thymus gland, our own thymus gland, was producing this to increase our immunity. Now, we do not, and with that said, we still have a caveat, because like all supplements, we don't recommend anybody with transplant to take it. I don't think it would hurt them, but we can't do that. If they have a organ transplant, we don't recommend they take it just because of some immune problems. So that'd be the only real caveat. We also do not recommend that women in their first trimester of pregnancy take it, because there's a lot of, I don't think it caused any problem, but if there was a problem, we don't want any kickback on that one. So those would be the two areas that I would say that we wouldn't want to use it. But every other case of either acute disease or chronic degenerative disease over a period of time, and it takes about 3 months to really get the immune system back to where it's at full speed. You'll have positive. We have 90% positive, at least 90% positive response with this, no matter what the cause of the problem is, whether it's a virus, or bacteria, or even fungus or yeast infections. So
awesome. We have a really great question here, and if I can't pronounce this right, I'm going to ask the fellow who's asked it if he'd like to come on and take a seat and ask it himself. But you can probably see it on your screen there also, Dr. Warren. But it says, one question coming on my mind is that if there's any alternative health medicine, and I think he's dealing with that broadly, but it could be that it's BioPro, or any treatment other than bone marrow transplant for, this is what I might mispronounce, major thalassemia patients. Thalassemia. There you go. You got it right.
It helps to have a doctor at the house.
That's right.
Well, unfortunately, I'm a veterinarian and I'm not familiar with that one. But what I can do is, if he can leave an address, I can research it and I get back to him. But if it is not a thalassemia, it looks to me just by the name, it's got to be some kind of a.
Do you want to get him on, and I'll drop off so you can talk to him directly?
Well, if he wants to. It looks like
would Hamza like to come on?
Yeah, it says that he would. He's actually on our staff, Dr. Warren. So,
okay.
And we can reach him easily. I'm going to say this now because you're showing it right now. One of the things that I'm just so impressed with Dr. Warren, with Mike, with literally all of our team here. And Hamza, all you've got to do now is you see that open seat. Why don't you just kind of click there, I think, and it'll allow you to go into it. Just click on the open seat. Is that the willingness to deal with questions that right now we don't have answers to. And I recall another interview that I had with Dr. Warren. I was talking about some issues that I have with my alpacas, and we still haven't gotten my veterinarian to communicate with Dr. Warren, but it isn't because of Dr. Warren's lack of ability or interest to do it. He's expressed it multiple times. My vet's just so busy, and I haven't been able to connect him yet. But just so everybody's aware, that's exactly what we want to do here. Is we understand that relationship between doctor and patient, or health provider and patient, or health consultant and patient is just sometimes so messed up. Here comes Hamza. So you should probably be able to, he'll be here in just a second. And he does not have a webcam. I know that. So he's just going to be speaking. So Hamza, why don't you ask that question a little more? Maybe you must have maybe someone you know that has this disease. Tell us about it a little bit.
Actually, my younger brother is a patient of major thalassemia. In this disease, your red blood cell is not built up in your body, so he has to get through the blood transfusion every 10 days, and there's only one treatment for this is bone marrow transplant. So I was curious to know that is there any alternative health medicine or any treatment in this?
What cell is actually the cell that we're dealing with? Is it the red blood cell itself?
Yeah.
Or is it a platelet?
Red blood cell.
The red blood cell?
Yep.
Well, I can't answer you directly, Hamza, except for this. I know that we have we've had many patients with thrombocytopenia, which is a deficiency of platelets, blood platelets, and they go through the same process to build those platelets. They get blood transfusions all the time, and we've been able with this product to increase those blood platelets in as little as 72 hours dramatically. So the only thing I can say is, Dad,
if you look over to your right, You'll
Right.
see. I just took that off the internet, just real quick. Just what this
Oh, okay.
thalassemia is. You can read that real quickly and
Well,
see if that helps you at all. But I
and
think it's
while
basically what you're saying.
while
Yeah.
Dr. Warren's reading that, I would say, this is going to be me just because I've had a little bit of experience, because what Dr. Warren just said, Hamza, that there's no negative that we know of. This is one of those things where, and you know what, I remember now, you've told me about your brother and about his need for the transfusion on a regular basis. It could not hurt, right? I mean, if this was available and he began to take it, he either would see some positive results or he wouldn't see anything, but he's not going to see anything negative.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
not a chance that it's going to be something negative for him.
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had another guest that came on, Telvin. Thank you for joining us. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask Dr. Warren or Mike Warren or any of us here about alternative health, and even more specifically about the immune system and what we might be able to do to help people that deal with immune system issues, please put them on the screen, or we'll even open up a chair for you to jump in. And Mike, that's great. You went on and found that disease and put that on there. That's what's so cool about this platform.
It is.
We can
It's awesome.
We can just communicate.
I just love it. It's fantastic.
All right.
One of the things that for the people that may have just come in or kind of coming in and out, we're talking today about an immune system stimulant, but mainly the immune system. We happen to have a product that stimulates that immune system. That's an all-natural bioidentical protein that your body produces. So anybody that's facing any chronic disease, for sure, has a repressed immune system, and our product will help rebuild that immune system. I like to use it as a jigsaw puzzle. Any chronic disease is a giant jigsaw puzzle, and it's probably a 2,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. Our protein, or our supplement that we have, is a big piece of that, but it's just a piece. It's not a silver bullet. It's not a magic pill that somebody takes and they're going to get well. They're going to get over their cancer. But from my experience with several friends that have had cancer, and one that I just talked to yesterday, as a matter of fact, is going through cancer. He has pancreatic cancer. He's been taking a vial of our BioPro 500 each day. He's been doing it for 2 months. He's gone through 5 courses of chemotherapy. And at one time, his white blood cells slipped where they had to miss one therapy. And it happened to be the second treatment, and he'd only been on our BioPro about 2 weeks, actually, 3 weeks actually at that point. So he didn't quite make it all the way through it, but long story short, today he is symptom free. He's definitely not cancer free, because when you go through chemo, it does literally kill all your cells, and it makes the cancer go into remission. My point being that he took this one little piece of the puzzle while he was going through chemo. He was able to go through chemo, never lost all his hair, he lost some hair. And that's another thing, because we are building up your immune system while chemotherapy is tearing down your immune system, and we're able to keep your immune system working. So people that are going through chemo are very susceptible to even a common cold can put them on their deathbed. It'll rush them to the hospital. And with our product, they're able to go through that in most cases, not all cases, but in most cases, they go through symptom-free as far as that other outside contagions or colds or flus or anything like that might fall upon them. So that, again, it's one piece of the puzzle. Now that he's through his chemotherapy, he's able to rebuild his immune system, because his immune system is decimated. You literally, after chemotherapy, you're virtually walking dead. You do not have an immune system, and your immune system is the center of everything that goes on in your body. So now we're able to keep him on the BioPro and build his immune system. He's feeling great. He's getting back to normal. And the prospects look good, even though pancreatic cancer is very, very serious, as all cancers are. But it's exciting to see what this product, simple supplement, all natural, bioavailable product does for people. It really is an amazing piece of that giant jigsaw puzzle as we try and rebuild our health. So,
well, thank you, Michael. That's what we've found over the years. this will assuage the the side effects of chemo and also radiation. And one other thing that we use it a lot in is pre and post operatively. If somebody's going in for a hip replacement or a knee replacement, shoulder, any major surgery, they should be on the BioPro a month before. They will heal quicker. And then post-surgically as well, their surgeon will be amazed at how fast they heal if they go on that protocol. Just because the immune system is the main focus of our healing apparatus in our body. I noticed that we have had 3 clinical proof of concept trials that we did over the years. One with Epstein-Barr virus, which we talked a little bit about before, and we showed significant results in the titers of Epstein-Barr virus in these patients that we use this with, reduced the titers dramatically, statistically. The second we did was an hepatitis C trial, which we did with in conjunction with a hospital, a major hepatitis C hospital in Egypt, and we showed the viral load decrease and the liver enzymes decreased dramatically using this product, and we were ready to ship product to Egypt, and 9/11 happened, and we couldn't ship white powder anywhere, so that kind of killed that process. But our latest trial was with HIV kids that were refractive to treatment in Vietnam, major hospital in Vietnam that treats HIV, and all these kids were refractive to treatment. The purpose of the trial was to see if we increased the CD4 counts and CD4 activity, which we showed to statistically do. But the interesting thing about each one of these kids was, which is pretty amazing and gratifying to us, was all of them gained weight, which in HIV patients is hard to do. Same with cancer patients. They all gained weight. So those are the 3 major trials we've done to date. I did a trial with the horses and the bleeding, and showed that anecdotally that we were able to successfully stop the bleeding in horses, and just by increasing their health. But like Michael says, it's part of the major puzzle that we're all dealing with, and none of us know all of the pieces or how to put them together at this point in time. But as we keep plugging along and trying to put one more piece ahead of the other, one of these days we'll find more answers and be able to help people like Hamza's brother with I don't know that we can't now, but the only thing we can do is try. But there are some genetic diseases, I'm sure, that we're going to have more trouble trying to overcome. But that's why we're here, to try to help people get better and feel better and have a better quality of life, Wayne. And that's what the game is about.
Dr. Warren, a couple other things. One, hi, Laura. Thanks for coming in. Please feel free to join a seat if you'd like to ask some questions.
Hey, Wayne,
yes.
Wayne, could I interrupt real quickly? Yes. Just a little housekeeping for all of us, because most of us at least in this room are new to Blab. If you want to ask a question, if you use the symbol, the slash symbol, and then followed with a Q, the / followed by a Q, it will pop up as a question up here, so it makes it easier to see, and it'll also show on our left side as questions. So as you're asking questions, if you hit / and then Q, and then go ahead and type in your question, it'll show up as a question. I think you might have been going to it. We had another question about dengue fever. And,
yeah, I was going to go to that. Dr. Warren, you might look over on the side, because Mike put in a little definition there of what he found for dengue fever. But I just wanted to comment. Telvin mentioned earlier, just to say what he said, which I think is accurate, is that this is adjunctive, either as a therapy or a treatment. And I think that's an accurate description. If you would either agree or disagree with me. And actually, I see that Hamza has come on here. Excuse me, Derek has come on. I think he might have a question. He doesn't have a webcam, so let's let him ask.
I think he's the one that asked the question about the dengue fever.
Dengue fever. So go ahead.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
I was asking that question because in dengue fever, mostly this fever, this fever is common every year in Pakistan. And, mostly patient in here in Pakistan lost too much of their cell platelets, or you can say red blood cells, due to that fever. Because of when this fever happens to any of the person, it causes the body pain, it causes the joint pain, sudden fever, and it is transmitted by mosquitoes. So my question was, does that alternative concepts, medicine, is it curable for this fever as well?
I will say this: it's a virus-caused disease, and that is the main function of this protein, is to mobilize our lymphocytes to be able to take viruses out of the system. So from that standpoint, I think that it would, even though we haven't used it on there, I'm very confident that with a aggressive protocol, we can control that virus and take a lot of that sickness and suffering away. It may take 30 days. I don't know. We'd have to try and see. I'm never. We don't have that over here in our country. So, but I'm very confident that we can do some good with that.
I have to say something really funny.
Okay.
I jumped off there for a second because my office phone rang, and I don't usually get just prank phone calls or crank phone calls, but I answered the phone and it said, "This is an important message about pain." and I didn't listen to a whole lot more, but it said, "Someone from this number has recently called about a problem with pain," and we're calling. So it's kind of small worldish. We actually had Chris come on here. Welcome, Chris. Chris was on with us last week when you were being interviewed, Mike, and
Yep.
so I just saying hi to Chris, and you're
Okay, so I'm gonna drop off, sir. Thank you so much for the for
All
your
I would say,
comments and
Zaki, is
for
give it a
giving
try.
tips.
I think that we could make a big difference there with those patients, especially the sooner that they start the treatment, the better, because you get the first part of the viremia where you don't have to play catch up so much. If you can get it early in the disease, I think that you can have a very positive result.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's deal with something here, just because I'm going to be saying that we've got like 10 minutes probably until we're at an hour, and I think we want to be pretty sensitive to people's time, and we can probably go a little longer. But both these last two questions came from another country. And Mike, would you talk a little bit about what we can do in terms of AHC sending products to places outside of the United States? Whether there's any issues that you know of from any places in the world, let's say, that they might go in terms of a person being concerned about them, anything that might, be a customs issue as such, anything of that nature, and talk about that a little bit.
Well, so far, we've primarily we're set up right now to send our product anywhere within the United States, obviously. With that, that's where we are, that's where we're located, that's where our product's manufactured, and that's where it's made. We currently ship product, and we have shipped product regularly to Canada, Ireland, to Sweden, and to the UK, and there has been no problem at all with customs. The only issue that we have as a company is trying to overcome the cost. It is expensive to ship it over there, and in some cases it can come. Our supplement is not an expensive supplement. You can go and look at it. It's very reasonable as a monthly regimen maintenance, or even if you need a higher dose, it's very, very cost related. And we tried to do that on purpose because sure, we're here. We would love to make some money, but that's not what this is all about. We really, 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 both my father and myself have a passion for helping people. And if we can help you get well and help you live a better life, that's what this is all about. We know that this product does that. So now that's where you come in, Wayne, and that's where we've gotten to the point where we've gotten aligned ourselves and partnered with a great company like yours to help get it out to the masses. We believe in our product. We know it inside and out. We've just seen over and over and over, without question, what it does for people. That's why we give a 90-day money back, no questions asked guarantee on our product. Take it for 90 days. If you're not happy with it, send us the empty boxes back and we'll refund every penny of your money, no questions asked.
Awesome.
So the thing is about the shipping overseas, there is not a problem as far as I know. We haven't shipped one anywhere. Everything sailed through customs. It is an immune supplement. It's a natural supplement. So far, so good. We haven't had any problems.
Awesome.
We'd love to ship some to Derek or get that over. And you know what? We can ship some to you. And Derek's happens to be part of our team, Dad, just so you know.
Was that Saki?
Yes.
Yes.
He goes by Derek.
I got to realize, I got to know the players here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, let me ask this, and then Chris has got a question I want to ask you in just a second.
Okay, great.
And this is actually for Derek and Hamza. Do you guys know that if, for your brother, Hamza, if any kind of medication is covered by any kind of insurance or national medical protection or anything that you have? Just maybe that's one question. Or even as it relates to this fever, which, gosh, it sure sounds like this is something that ought to be taken as a preventative, whether there's any kind of cost abatement that could occur from a, let's say, a healthcare protection perspective. And then Chris's question, Dr. Warren, and by the way, Chris was on with us last week, and we appreciate him being on. He's a retired air traffic controller. And his question is, does BioPro 100 affect bile production?
Chris actually was on our website, our webinar last week, or Blab last week, and bought the BioPro 100. So that's probably why he's asking, Dad. Oh, good. And we might ask if Chris wants to come on and sit down and talk, and feel free to. We could go into more depth as far as trying to go through your question that way. But go ahead and answer it for what you know about affecting bile production.
The only thing as far as affecting bile production is by making the liver healthier, you'll increase bile production. It doesn't have a direct effect other than through the health of the liver. So with hepatitis C or any kind of hepatitis, we've been able to dramatically help heal that liver. The liver is a regenerating organ, as you know, and as you get the health to the liver, you'll get more normal bile production. I presume he's talking about a liver that has not produced enough bile.
And he says he doesn't have a microphone, so he'll probably just continue to ask questions here. He said he had his gallbladder removed 25 years ago.
The gallstone, but it's and the gallbladder is just a storage facility for the bile to be produced, and the liver will continue to produce the bile, but it's not gonna stimulate bile directly. It's going to stimulate indirectly through increasing the health of the liver.
But which is still going to be a good thing, right?
Oh yeah, no, you've got to have that for digestion. If you don't have the right bile content, you're not going to digest your food properly.
Right. So he says this is his day 2 of taking the product, and I seem to be having an adverse effect. So don't know what he says. Maybe even say a little more specifically there, Chris, what that means.
Exactly.
So let me give you while he's doing that, I want to just give a quick one, because I've said this a couple times. I think I have a fairly healthy immune system. I do sort of endurance types of sports, and every summer, like clockwork in August, and I keep a journal of actually my workouts and my health. I get allergic to a bunch of different pollens that causes my nose to get stopped up, my eyes to run and water, and just upper respiratory system issues. And this year we had a wet spell that occurred in May that actually caused some of that pollen activity to be a little sooner. And it was right about then that I started to hear, really learn about BioPro as we were beginning to work with you guys. And I started taking BioPro 100 and also 500. Well, the first day that I got the symptoms, I took 500. Literally within an hour, I didn't have the symptoms any longer. And I was able to abate that allergy symptom. In August, it happened again, just like it does every year. And again, same sequence. I took the 500 to sort of really hit it in a dose, and then I went to the 100 on a maintenance basis. But again, so quickly, it served its purpose. Chris is answering now. He said, excess bile running through my system. So,
I can't explain that. Is that the only? Is he have any? Maybe asking the question, Chris. Do you have any other symptoms as far as stomach upset or temperatures or anything like that? Because it might be completely, coincidental.
We'll see what he answers here.
Yeah.
While we're doing that, real quick, I think we were offering something even for this call, maybe that we thought we'd do as a little bit of a promo for some of the folks listening. Mike, is there something there that we've talked about?
Yeah, we do. You know what what we'd like to do. My father and I wrote a little book. It's a little ebook. It's called The Secrets of Immune System Recovery. And we'd like to I'll put up a link, and then if you'd like to go into that link and you can go into that link and then order the book and sign up for the book and get the free ebook. So,
and by the way, I'll give a little bit of a future glimpse. Chris talked a little bit more about some of what's going on with him. He said he ate some bad food back about 10 days ago.
There's your answer, Chris. That's probably the answer, Chris. And what's happening is maybe the BioPro, of course, 2 days of taking the BioPro is not going to really do that much to take away the effects of the bad food poisoning, but there could be a reaction from the food poisoning. So the body's just trying to overcome some of that deficiency you had while you were going through that food poisoning. And if you ever have that, did he get both the 100 and the 500, Michael?
No, he just got the 100.
Oh, okay.
He got 3 boxes of it, though. If you wanted to possibly have him take more or whatever, he could.
Yeah, if you feel like
2 packets a day.
Yeah, the main thing is if you feel like you're getting sick, if you have another series of some bad food, take a BioPro packet about every hour and a half for 3 or 4 times, and it'll help to overcome it. If you had the vials, the combination in the vial with the silver solution would even accentuate that healing process more.
And Mike, Mike just put a link up here, so he's going to talk about that book that potentially is available for you. And by the way, I will just say now, and I'm speculating that this is going to happen, but we're going to actually be publishing that book and putting it onto Kindle here at some point in the near future. And it has actually gotten enough reviews from people we've had look at it that say it's got a good chance it could go to #1 in the health category that it'll be in as an Amazon bestseller. So we're excited about that, but it's something that we're giving away free now, and you can just click on that link that Mike put up there on the tab. And
I just want to. Excuse me, Wayne. I just wanted to thank Chris for his interest, and if we can help him, have him feel free to call us or email us, and we'll be sure to get together with him.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
And a Doctor Approved just came on, and what you're doing is you're at the very end. We're about ready to wrap up here on a webinar that we're starting to do, or a blab that we're doing on a weekly basis about alternative health. And our guest today is Dr. Herbert Warren, who has been talking about his involvement in that area. He's a veterinarian who's had a number of years. We haven't even talked today about how young Dr. Warren is, and
we can
how
pass
many years
that.
he's been involved.
We could pass that, he says.
Right. Well, I will say this. and this is, I can say it, and he can be humble about this, but he was actually the veterinarian for the last Triple Crown winner before American Pharoah this year, the horse Affirmed back in 1978. He was a real young man then. So anyway, he was just in diapers at that time. But anyway, we've been talking about a product that his company's developed called BioPro Plus. And we've been talking to some people that have taken it and other people that have had issues from it. So doctor approved, that's what we're talking about. And we're, like I said, about ready to wrap things up. So anybody who's got other questions, if you would like to ask them, please throw them in here for Dr. Warren. Dr. Warren is going to be available to answer as we move ahead. He's Mike's father, and Mike's going to be the co-host of this Blab as we do it weekly. I'll mention again now that we've got Rick Beersley coming on next week, and Rick is actually also associated with Alternative Health Concepts. He was the developer of the product that Dr. Warren's been talking about today, so we thought that was worthy of a couple of weeks of interviews. And again, anyone who has guests that you would like to see have us come on to the Blab here, we'd love to have them on, and at least to see how they might like to be on.
And Wayne, just another little bit of housekeeping for you see the names above our heads or up at the top of the different people that are on right now. If you hover over any of those, you can follow each other, and I would encourage everybody to follow each other if you have any interest, and that way you'll always know when we are doing a Blab, and we conversely will know what you're doing too.
Right.
I think we followed everybody in here, at least I have, from Alternative Health. And my name's Mike Warren again. We're still learning on some of this, so we're going to figure out how to get my name up there. But Alternative Health Concepts is our Twitter name, at AHC4Health. And that's why it says Alternative Health. But you can follow me, and you'll get any of our live weekly Blabs, and you'll get notified that they're coming up and that we're going to be online.
And again, Mike, if you wouldn't mind, just finish up here and just talk longer term. What's your goals for AHC and for Alternative Health Concepts?
Well, it started out. We started out with the simple concept of wanting to do something alternative in the alternative health world. That is, not to take away or discount from allopathic or Western style medicine that is primarily pharmaceutical driven. We believe that, number one, that a doctor can never heal you. A doctor has never healed cancer or any disease. The only thing that has healed any chronic disease is your own body's immune system. And that's the only way disease is healed. We believe that there are wonderful, wonderful products that come from the earth. There's all kinds of herbs. The rainforest is just, our rainforests in the world are unlocked. They've been pretty much locked up until now as far as resource goes, but there's a myriad of things that we're going to find, that we're finding every day, that can help our health and better humankind. So in a nutshell, we want to produce and help people become healthy naturally. We want to help the world heal naturally, and that's what we want to do. Long term, I would like to see us having a site that people can come to, a web type site that people can come to and get regular daily content, learn all about different parts of their body, mind, body, and spirit. You have to heal all three of those to get away and get any disease or rid any disease from your body. It's a 3-part process. That's part of the jigsaw puzzle. And as far as I'm concerned, you can take those 2,000 pieces and put them into 3 piles, mind, body, and spirit. If you try and heal one without the other, you're not going to be successful. So we see that going. We have some products coming on the horizon here shortly that as we research and we develop and we understand what they can do and how they can be synergistic to our BioPro Plus, we're going to do that. We're also shortly going to be introducing a pet line, because our pets are our family. They're as close to me as, in some cases, as my grandkids. Not quite, but you get the point. They're important to us, and we love our pets. And I've got 3 dogs, and dog lover, and obviously my dad's a veterinarian, so I've grown up loving animals and loving horses. And so we're coming out with a line of BioPro that will be for animals. And I've had great success with my own dogs, one that had cancer, and keeping them at a good quality of life for, in one case, 3 years with severe cancer. His name was Lucky. He was a junkyard dog, and he became lumpy because he literally had cancer lumps hanging all over him. But he lived a great life, and he was happy every day because of the product, and we'd give him the BioPro. But so those are some of the things that we see. It's an ongoing, I think it's a lifelong project as far as I'm concerned. I'm 57 years old, and I expect it to go on way after I'm gone. Really looking forward to, in some small way, helping to change the world and doing it naturally.
And by the way, Mike, you talked about having a site that eventually gives amazing information. We're doing it.
Yeah,
site's
that's
getting
true.
there now.
You're right.
So
Absolutely.
it's going to just continue to get better. But please, I just put the website up. It's out there on the web. You can go to it anytime. We try to 3 times a week, Mike? We get articles in now.
Yep. We're good.
And they are researched before we put them up. We do cite outside sources, many of them. We research those sources before we cite them. We actually know that those are people that we have some trust and feel good about. And Mike does a lot of research about other people in the industry that he has respect for, that we do. And those are the kinds of people we want to interview. People like Dr. Mercola and Dr. Henderson. Is that correct? I think Henderson's one that you are a real strong follower of, those kinds of folks. So that's what we're going to try to bring here onto this and talk to people. Let's finish up here with just letting Dr. Warren give anything that he would like about just to finish up, to talk about the BioPro Plus and just kind of finish with that. And again, anyone who's got any other questions, you can certainly throw them out at us now, and we'll let Dr. Warren finish and answer the last questions, and we'll call it a wrap for today.
Well, great. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, this product, as we've discussed throughout this last hour, to me is a natural product that our body, especially over 40, and suffering any kind of chronic disease, imperative that we put it into our body to help increase our immune system. Now, the prevention part of the equation we haven't talked about that much. We've talked mainly about treatment, but if a person starts using this product routinely, in their 30s even, because the thymus gland is degenerating even at that point in time, they will keep their immune system up operating, and they will probably dodge some of those disease bullets that will come at them later on downstream. There's so many different aspects of this supplement, Wayne and Mike, that even we are scratching the surface on at the present time. We've had doctors in the aging field use this product dramatically to stop the aging process in older people, and Dr. Chin being one down in Palm Springs. We've had many cases of chronic disease like lupus that we have turned around dramatically, and in the face of, because it is an autoimmune disease, people say, well, you can't stimulate the immune system because it's an autoimmune disease and it's overriding right now. And the reason is because the cellular system has been diminished to the point where the humoral system is going overboard and destroying the self cells as well as the invader cells. It's like a teeter-totter. By getting this cellular system back in balance to the humoral system, you will diminish it's my feeling, you'll diminish the autoimmune disease as well. And we've kind of anecdotally seen that happen here again with no clinical trials, but we've seen that happen with people that have been suffering, women particularly suffering from lupus and other autoimmune diseases, Hashimoto's and other autoimmune diseases that have been greatly enhanced, and their life has been changed because of this simple product. And I know I'm not naive enough to think that we know all the answers now. We're just starting to scratch the surface, and the future looks bright. And we'll look back on this session today, maybe a few years from now, and say, "Man, we were just on the real cutting edge of this thing, but we didn't really know what we had in our hands." And I think that's as we go on, we're going to find uses for this that we don't even have ideas about now.
And let's just, that's a great way to sort of finish this. I'm not seeing any other questions right now. I'm seeing we're getting some thanks from people for the information. This will be a replay that we'll be putting up on our AHC site. I put the link there. And by the way, on these blobs, one of the other cool things, if you haven't used them, is these links will stay live. So the chat section will go along with the replay that we'll be putting up. And so you can go back onto the site later. You can click on the links and so on. So as we do these each week, we're going to be actually editing the replays, adding some images, adding some video to them. But the actual replay itself will be up here on Blab right after this is done, within minutes. It's pretty amazing to me that they can do it that quickly. And so you can tell others about it. You can come back in yourself, look at the replay on Blab, and then we'll actually be editing a replay that we'll put on the website also. So, Mike, do you have anything else you want to throw in to finish this off? We thank Dr. Warren for his time. And
my pleasure.
Obviously, we're close to him, and so we'll get to be with him more. But ask all of you to tell your friends, and just like Chris did, come back in again as we schedule next week. I think we have our time, don't we, Mike? We're going to do it on Tuesday next week.
Tuesday, December.
At the same time. Yeah,
Tuesday,
correct?
December 1st at 3 p.m., same time, Pacific time. So we hope to see everybody back here then. And I think you'll be really pleased with hearing how this product was developed and some of the stories that Rick Beardsley, the developer of BioPro product plus with my father. I don't want to discount his input into that, because at the early days, he was there working side by side with Rick, and they figured out some technical things that they needed to do to add a couple proteins and different things, and that was all done at the very beginning. And we'll hear about that next week, so it'll give you a little taste of what may be coming. But Rick's just a phenomenal guy. He's got a wealth of information about the immune system, understands it far better than I do, and he can, have your doctors come and talk to him and listen to him, because he can explain it to anybody. And if you have questions, or if you have friends or relatives that have issues that they're dealing with, and you might have particular questions about how the immune response system works within them, bring those questions next week. We'll answer them, and we'll stay as long as we need to do to answer them. But that's what we're here for. That's what this is all about, is if we can help one individual get better and live a good quality of life, that's what we want to do.
Well, great. And Mike, it's kind of in your hands as to when this ends.
Okay. I'm going to end it now then, guys.
All right. Well,
thanks,
hey,
Wayne, for your time. Dad, thanks for your time.
You got it. Well, it was a great deal. Thanks, Wayne. We'll catch you later.
We'll catch you later. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for all attending. Bye-bye.